It's going to
because now
bankrupt
it's
them.
like you're paying them now.
Yeah.
Before, it was a thing of, okay, they're not getting paid, right? And they love to tote that, okay, they're students. Now that there's revenue sharing, and you can, in the daylight, on the books, recorded, we can see how much you're paying each athlete. What is going to be the terminology? What
Mm-hmm.
legal precedence needs to be set? What new classification
Mm-hmm.
needs to happen to where, they can be classified as some type of employee, something, to where y'all
Yeah.
can stop getting sued? I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's gonna
I don't
be
know.
crazy. And they should have been did this. It was coming down the line. That's why a lot of coaches are going to the NFL or NBA. Shout out Dan Hurley needs to come to Lakers. Anyway, all right. So the problem, the thing is with also with HBCUs, right? The and here's the thing: the Power Five gets all the money from that, guys. They do. That's a
Yeah,
fact.
that's a
And
fact.
they're not paying the whole amount. They're not even paying 60%. And that's the problem because the FCS is the non-football conferences that makes up they got to make up 12% of this. And that includes the MEAC, the SWAC, and the Colonial Athletic Association, the Ohio Valley Association. Now this
Yeah,
12% is it's terrible for HBCUs and small colleges, but especially HBCUs, is because they're gonna
yeah.
have to cut. They're gonna have to cut funding and program. Now here's another crazy stat. When college football just went to the playoff and signed the big TV money. Who gets to go to that playoff? Most likely Power Five schools. So that playoff
Exactly.
money is going to offset for them. Now, the good thing is the HBCUs did sign that deal with Byron Allen, but I don't know the terms. But because the HBCUs are so small, it's going to cut programs out. And it's that's not cool.
Guys, we
It's
gotta just to
inevitable.
break this down,
It's
because there's an
crazy.
amazing article that was written in the Indy Star, by Greg Doyle. He wrote an article, like, kind of breaking down the numbers, right? And just to put this in perspective, I believe the NCAA, they made revenue of like 1.2, or, it was over $1 billion, a little over $1 billion
Yes.
in 2023, right? Where like $900 million of that came basically from the NCAA tournament. And that's
Mhm.
just from broadcasting, television rights, and things like that.
Yep.
And again, like JT pointed out, these are going to be the Power Five schools. Like, they're not taking, like HBCUs aren't really benefiting from that. Okay, fine, right? They're not benefiting from it. It is what it is. But when you
Mhm.
start breaking down um the payout, it's not adding up. As far as, you have, what, 60 or 70 schools, they're responsible for, a small percentage, and then the other 300 schools, you want to make them, responsible for this 60%, right? That you're saying, oh, well, they get 60%, but when you break that down per school, it's like, that can bankrupt some of these schools. A lot of these schools
Yes.
don't have no money like that.
Yes.
I looked up the revenue for each, school, for each D1 school, and
Mhm.
a lot of them, there is no wiggle room. Some of these schools are operating in the negative.
Yes. Yes.
So now you want to tack on how much more money? Like, I'm taking a look. So just to put this into perspective,
Yeah. Yeah.
and we're talking about, moving from like the Big Ten. Like, think about Ohio State. Total
Yeah. Yeah.
revenue
Yeah. Yeah.
was $251 million dollars. Total operating expenses was $225 million. Right, so they got about $25 million of wiggle room.